Tap your cheek. Then tap your just below your collarbone. You can tap even the thymus also. It actually helps your immune system. I want you all to just hold your left shoulder with your right hand, just like that. Release your energy. It is so stuck there. Okay. Then keep your hands here like this. Then go backwards. Okay, so it will be behind. Just release the energy from here. Release the energy which is stuck in this meridian. Okay. Now I want you to go a little down. So if you're going to keep your hand like that, move your hand like this. Go towards your right leg and release it through your right leg. Keep your hand on the right. Go towards the left and release it through your left. Okay. Now just shake your hands like this. Keep it on your right. Take a deep breath in and release it to the temple. Again, take a deep breath in. Take your hands on top of your ears. Let it go behind your ears. Breathing out. Again, taking a deep breath in. Let it come down into your chest. And keeping your eyes closed. Allow yourself to center in your heart. As you're centering in the heart, just bring your hands down and raise the energy from down upward. Again, take energy from down and lift it upward. As you do this, take a deep breath in and lift it upward. Now you all can sit down. You all can do this whenever you feel you're low in energy. Okay, it will open your meridians very fast. Now allow yourself to sit comfortably and keep your eyes closed. Keeping your backbone straight. Just be aware of all the sound around you. Just observe all the sound around you without any judgment. Slowly bring your awareness into your body, into all the sensation in your body. Gently, easily, effortlessly bring your awareness to your beautiful breath. Just observe the breath that is coming in and going out. Be aware of the nature of your breath. And as you're observing your breath, bring your awareness to the top of your head, allowing yourself to breathe into your head space, allowing any tension, any sick feeling, any aches and pains, let it all be released as you're deeply breathing into the space of your head. Let this awareness go down into your forehead, breathing into your forehead, breathing into the eyes, the muscles around your eyes, breathing into your cheeks, jaw. Allow your jaws to be completely relaxed. If you have clenched your teeth, unclench it. Let your tongue be relaxed and breathe into the space of your neck, allowing yourself to be flexible, open to new possibilities, new perceptions. Breathe into the space of your right shoulder, right hand, till the tip of your fingers. Breathe into your left shoulder, left hand, till the tip of your fingers. Bring this beautiful awareness all the way down into your chest muscles, breathing into your heart space, letting go of any grief, letting go of any heart feeling, any tiredness, allowing this beautiful energy to flow down into your abdomen muscles, breathing into that space, letting go of any abuse, be it verbal, physical. Release it as you're breathing into that space. Take deep breath into your stomach muscles. Let your awareness go into your back muscle, upper back, middle back, breathing into your lower back, perineum muscles, genitals, buttocks. Let it flow down into your thighs, thigh, right knee. Breathe into the knees, breathe into the calf muscles, right ankle, feet, till the tip of your toes. Breathe into your left thigh, your left knee, left calf muscles, ankles, feet, till the tip of your toes. Allow yourself to observe this beautiful energy flow from your toes till the top of your head, breathing in and breathing out through your head. Again, breathing in from your top of your head and breathing out till the tip of your toes. Let us invoke the blessings of the source energy, the creator's energy, all the masters, spirit guides, angels. Let us be guided throughout this class Let us be able to open to new possibilities, allowing us to shift from our limited self into our true powerful self. Just be with your breath for another 1 minute. Slowly bring your awareness into the now, into this beautiful class, connecting to everyone that is present in this class. Gently wiggle your toes and hands, rub your hands together, place it on your eyes, and open your eyes. Has everyone attended the first Rising in Love? Or is there anybody new? I think two, three people are new here. Okay. Anyway, if you can just go back into those videos, it would be nice because every Rising Love will be a deeper version. Today, today we'll start with something.
Auntie, that game which we were supposed to play last class, we can play that now.
Yeah, we'll do that. You remember that now, huh? I told you to remind me at that time.
Yeah, and then you messaged saying like I remembered it till the last moment. I was like, once you
Should we
finish
start
talking,
the
I'll tell,
game?
I'll tell, I'll tell. Yeah, we should do that. I don't
No,
know what it is, but like,
we'll go into the game after some time. Okay. So let me start with, see, we all live in this world with so much of unawareness sometimes that we don't know, we don't see what we normally have. So I'm always starting with being grateful to my family. Okay, without them, I don't exist. So I'm grateful to everyone in this family, and this is my in-laws where I'm staying right now. Okay, and grateful to all of my masters, teachers, and of course Rupesh sir and Latika ma'am. Because of them, this Rising in Love is happening. So I'm more than grateful to them for all the guidance. So something we have discussed before, something about appreciation, but still I feel we can just recollect, always remind us that appreciation is something which you always have to carry every moment of your life. When we can appreciate ourselves and others, we are very close to source energy's vibration. I believe you all have experienced that. The happiness, the vibration, the that high vibrational feeling comes whenever you're appreciating somebody else or yourself. Okay, so that's an expression of love. So just to remind you all, these are all just to remind you all, when you go home, make a list of all the things you love. Okay, so that you know that if at all you have to give up that thing at some point of time, or even now, maybe by tomorrow, if you have to give it up, how will that make you feel? I believe everybody is following what I'm saying. Um, you can make a list of people in your life who is very precious to you, whom you value a lot. You never know when you're going to lose somebody, be it any reason, be it death or be it any other reason. They might just leave any moment in your life because life is very uncertain like that. So, what we can do is write down all these valuable things for you all, valuable people, and just be grateful to them. Send that gratitude feeling towards them. Okay? Don't keep it for tomorrow. If you can do it today itself, well and good. This is also something we have discussed last time, embracing your dark side. This is very important, even though everybody says that, yes, I do so much of shadow work. I guess we have a lot of theta healers and other healers over here. We always say that, yes, I do all my shadow work so well. But are we really embracing our darkness within ourselves is the question mark. Because the moment we find something, we go, we dig, and we do all the healing, and okay, it's over. We are not even seeing we have that inside us. It's been with us for such a long time. It is a part of us. The darkness is a part of us, not just our own darkness. Even if there's somebody else's darkness also, it is a part of that person. So when we are embracing another person, accepting another person, we we should raise ourselves enough that we are embracing that person with acknowledging their negative and the positive side. What we normally do is that when we see the dark side, we tend to make it positive and then accept it. Especially healers have this tendency. Immediately we have to make it positive, and then then we are fine to accept that, isn't it? So first we have to do is see things as they are. It makes things more easier, and then it is easier for you to integrate many things in your life. Otherwise, it is just running away from it. So today we are going to discuss is ego love and true love. So how many all can acknowledge that I am in ego love? Anybody understands what is ego love? Attachment to someone can be easily misunderstood as love. When we don't know who we are, we believe that we can't be whole and complete without someone else. We always say this, right? Don't leave me. I can't live without you. I'm not able to enjoy life without you. I'm not able to experience love without you. These are the things we say to the people whom we love, right? We are always dependent on them. So there is always a void in our heart, which is always very scary for us. So whenever we feel that void, we feel that somebody else will complete that. Isn't that what we all do, including me? Not, I cannot avoid myself, including me, I'm telling. Uh, so often, without realizing, we believe that if we have someone else to be there for us, we will become whole again. And in every relationship, we all feel that okay, because this person came into my life is complete. I am whole and complete. But that's not the truth. Somewhere deep down, we believe that we are not enough as such. That's the reason we want somebody else to complete us. We think that we can fix everything by gaining someone's love and attention. And the moment we find them, we are afraid that they will leave. Because subconsciously, we believe that no one can love us as we can't honestly love ourselves. So the moment we feel we can't love ourselves, other person is also not able to love ourselves. But we keep thinking that if that person is there, yes, this is going to be complete. So what we do is we start manipulating the other person. We start controlling the other person, and we keep on holding on. We become possessive, and then we get into this emotional drama. Without you, oh my God, I am going to be broken. All that drama comes up, right? This is ego love. This is not pure love. This is ego love. Yes, every one of us will experience this, but we can rise above this. I think I am experiencing something like that in my own life. Okay. So the true love feels completely different than the ego love. You're ready for a soul based relationship once we have done some inner work and we know ourselves and we feel whole. So that's why a lot of us over here, most of us over here, we tend to do the inner work. It's more about recognizing our shadow side and through it consciously rather than expecting that someone else will fix it for us. So we are going to take responsibility for what is happening in our life. We are going to take responsibility for even if you feel unloved or even if the person leaves you, you're going to take responsibility that it is I who created this and I have to do something within myself to experience something different rather than blaming the other person. What we all normally do is we normally blame the other person. We don't take responsibility for that situation which we have created for ourselves. I guess most of the theta healers have already into this journey. For the rest of us, yes, this could be something new. So when we love someone with our own soul, we always support them in their dreams. We trust them. We give them in their dreams means whatever their dreams are or visions are of their life. Okay, and we trust them. We give them the freedom to be and do what they want. We expand and grow with them without trying. We can be our true self with them, and they can be with us. How many of us find it very easy to transparently discuss everything about you to your partner or whoever you love? That transparency, that honesty, that comes only from soulful loving. And when you are that, the person who is mirroring will also become that. So we always wish them the best. If that would mean they would want to leave, some of our person whom we love want to leave us, I think we should respect that. There is equality between you both. We both take care of our mess together. See, I've seen this, especially, sir, I'm going to quote you over here. Rupesh sir and ma'am, Letika ma'am, I've seen that whenever they have an issue between them, they actually take responsibility and they both heal each other on a different level, instead of fighting like cats and dogs. So that is literally taking responsibility and being in a soulful relationship. So they both are actually expanding together. They're not shrinking. So most of us, of course, we are all in ego love, but we can rise into this other level of loving, soulful loving. If there is a possibility like that, of course, that's when your soul actually expands. Pain and hurt are also a sure sign of ego love. Because when we believe that it's the other person who is the source of our unhappiness, we are not in a soul based relationship. The partner in the ego based relationship helps us to see our own shadow. So we can work on it and then become whole. Whereas in the soul based relationship, you both grow, but not through pain, but instead through awareness and being present. You also don't have any power battles and blaming games with each other. So this we have to always keep on observing ourselves. Last time we talked about fear-based love. When you're taking a decision, is it fear-based or love-based? I believe you all remember the other class, last month's class. So today we are talking about ego-based love, ego-based love and soulful love. So we all can rise into the soul-based love only if we are aware in each moment. In each moment we should be aware that it is possible for us to raise ourselves. Even if we get hurt by our partner or somebody else in the family or your friend or anybody, we'll immediately can align ourselves to not to go in that ego way rather than rather than feeding that ego, feed the soul and understand where is this coming from and shift immediately. And it is possible. I know it is possible that without pain we can actually love a person unconditionally without taking the pain, because whatever we have been triggering on, of course we work, we do shadow work and everything. And once we raise ourselves, we do become in a situation where whatever the other person does, it is, they are just doing it, but we are still flowing in love. That's very beautiful because there is no pain over there. In whichever relationship you are, remember that you always get that which you need the most at any given moment of time. So embrace it fully and learn from your current lessons. It doesn't mean that you have to stay in a dysfunctional relationship. Sometimes part of the teaching is to leave. So sometimes, yes, there are a lot of dysfunctional relationships. You can work for it maximum, and if at all you're still in that suffering this thing, you can decide to leave. It is okay to do that because you can create a new story. You can create a new life for yourself. We keep thinking that we can only have this old, and we keep on clinging on to that. Okay. Art of communicating. Every time we talk about communicating, it is all about conversation. Here, see what we see with our eyes and what we hear with our ears and what our tongue experience, what our nose smell, all this is food for our soul. So whatever conversations we get into with whoever we get into, that is food for our soul. For example, yesterday here, when I come here, I really enjoy um, the nature space over here. But there is something which I don't enjoy over here is that, forgive me if my in-laws are listening, they actually keep this serial, that TV serial. That energy doesn't go well with me. So I move away from that. And yesterday what happened was that my husband's cousin, I think we all know Jyoti, and her husband came in, and we had this beautiful conversation of um it was an uplifting conversation. It was uplifting about the society, about ourselves, about each other, about intuitions. It was so uplifting that we all were in a very raised level. So when we actually put our awareness, is this what I want, we actually can create more of that. I believe you all can be aware of that, especially when somebody is coming and talking to you. Be aware what they are talking. You don't have to take all that energy inside you, because it actually messes with your energy field. It does. So today I showed you a simple thing which I said no. I think most of the theta healers, of course, they know that when we lift our hand from down to upwards, the energy actually raises. If you do a muscle test, when we lift like that, your muscle test stays very strong. Whereas when we do the crossways, or when you're keeping your hands down, the muscle test energy depletes. it is a it is how the energy, it's a very subtle thing. But when we raise, just keeping your hands like that itself, even I think what is her name, Donna. How many of y'all have attended Donna's classes? Donna Eden. Sribala, have you? Okay. Okay, Donna Eden.
No, Priyaji, I haven't. I haven't.
Having. Okay, her Donna Eden's classes are all about energy. It's really an amazing thing she says. Very subtle things, in our life, the movement of the hand. And then she says that when you look at a person from down to up, the energy of that person actually raises. Whereas when you're looking from up to down, you're depleting that person's energy. I was so amazed seeing that. I mean, it's such a subtle thing. We don't even take that much care. So the communication, when we talk about communication, this is what we nourish ourselves with, even the small things. So how can you understand the communication is healthy and what is toxic? Nourishment and consumption. We are conscious of reading and watching, especially when we are into this internet. It's a amazing world, but it has a different world also over there. So we should be mindful of what you're reading, what you're seeing, and what you're getting addicted to also. So when you're mindful of that, you actually know that is this nourishing my soul? You can keep asking yourself that question. Okay, so be mindful whenever you are on net. Conversation is a source of nourishment. Mindfulness of speaking and listening is very important. Be aware, be mindful not to absorb toxic conversations. Protect yourself in the energy of compassion. In mindful awareness, you can observe what you're consuming to keep the suffering alive inside you. When you produce a thought that carries suspicion, anger, fear, and irritation, that thought is not nourishing. For example, we see something on TV, especially the news. It comes with a lot of fear these days, right? And initially, especially when Corona came, people were like mad with fear. They wouldn't even touch people whom they love, fearing that they'll get corona. So much of fear was there inside. But as they started facing that fear, nowadays, see, even now here where I'm sitting, my mother-in-law was saying that the first people who came 3 4 months before me, nobody was allowed to even come down from their room because they were so scared to even speak to them. But now, she's into this. So she's telling now I'm okay with it. Now I know that I can face it even if it comes. If it is meant to come, it will come. So then she just allowed me to come down and sit here and take class. It is like they're able to face fear. So if we keep on having this fearful thought inside you, it is very difficult to move forward because that is going to deplete your soul's energy. So always remember that you have to water the good seeds inside you. Even in relationship, judgment always depletes the relationship. So be compassionate whenever possible. Be compassionate. Always be mindful of that. Talk less, listen more, observe more. That will be more easier on you, especially in relationships. I've made a lot of spelling mistakes. Forgive me. Communicating with ourselves is the first step. To communicate with ourselves, we have to practice non thinking and non talking, dwelling on the past, trying to control the future, generating misperception and what others think about you. If you continue to talk, you will continue to be caught in words. For example, whenever I speak with my mother, she says, all these things are happening in India. You have no idea, Priya. You're in some other world. So much of negativity is happening with teenagers and children of 20 years. And because my daughter is 22 years old, you should be so careful. You should control her, that, this, and all that. She's in that fear mode because she thinks that just because one set of people they're experiencing that, it will come to us. It's a fear. So, are we controlling that child with love? No, we are controlling the child with fear. Is it that? Is it the fear energy you want to give the child? No. So, always observe, is it out of fear that I'm going to control my child? If it is out of love, fine. So, always observe. Just because somebody else is going through something doesn't mean that we will also go through that. But when we create fear inside us, of course, you're bringing that energy into us. So release the fear and observe that you can actually flow in love. It's enjoyable to breathe in and breathe out. See, mindful breathing. That's when, whenever you're going through something which is actually disturbing, you can actually, what you can do is immediately go into your breath. When you're with your breath, in that moment, everything disappears. There will be a lot of non-thinking, non-talking. So your breathing itself becomes so enjoyable. And whatever you do, if you're just simply sitting, you're taking a shower, you're cleaning your room, everything becomes very enjoyable because you're totally with your breath. You're in that moment. You're not going into the past or into the future. I think this Rupert sir and ma'am would have explained this 100 times in their classes. Let me also say it. Okay. Are you able to love a person who is weak? Are you able to love that part of you which is weak? This is a question every one of you can ask yourself. Whoever whoever you say you love, be it your parents, your children, your partner, your friends, are you able to love their weaker side? What we normally do is the moment we say the weaker side, we'll say that no, you're not weak, you're very strong, you're that, you're this, and you're going to, make that person not even see the weakness there. Actually, we have to first observe the weakness, embrace the weakness, understand why it is there. Then only we can think about transforming that, right? So, when you love a person, when you are not able to love their weakness, your love is not complete. When you're loving yourself, this I learned from Rupesh sir, okay? When you're loving from yourself, because when he did session on me, I was like, oh, okay. When you're loving yourself, when we see our own weakness at some point of time, I used to be so desperate into, changing that. So he asked me, are you able to love that side of you which is weak, which is dark? I said, no. Then only I looked into it. Why? I'm not able to do that. So when you look into it, it will be like, it will be a, when you look at it with lot of compassion, a lot of love, lot of understanding that this is a part of me. This is that has made me as it is as a whole. Then it will be easier for us to embrace it, to love it as it is. Then of course we can do whatever work you want with it and change it or whatever. So be mindful that even if you see something weak in others, embrace their weakness, also acknowledge it. Okay, so today we are actually, how much time we have? Um,
1 hour and 15 minutes.
an hour. Okay. So when we flow in love, all hindrances flow away. I mean, fall away, and the soul is all we see. So whenever we are flowing in love to someone, what we have to observe is that how much we are flowing. What is the force of that flow? Is there a hindrance there? Is there a block there? And what is blocking you there? Then you don't have to look at the other person. You have to look at yourself. Why you're feeling that block there? What is that which is not allowing you to block? I mean, allowing you to flow there continuously. What is it that you should be doing to make the flow very forceful? When we flow in love with a beloved or the other, we engage in the ultimate dance of soul hearted partnership or relationship, sharing our joy, passion, and exuberance for life. The flow of love affects how we wake up in the morning, carry ourselves, handle disappointment, give and receive love. Flowing in love with someone takes a harmonious balance of giving and receiving love without expectations or conditions. When there is genuine love flowing, there is a powerful source energy that co creates our reality. So, flowing in love is also means that it is very unconditional. It is not because that person is in a particular way, or that person does something for you. That's not the reason you're loving that person. It is a very unconditional space that you just flow whatever matters. It is just happening. If you are not able to flow, look within. Why we are not able to flow? When we look within, we might come up with guilt or unforgiveness or revenge or pain, or so you have to address that. So if you
Priyachi, can I ask a doubt?
yeah, who's this?
Sri Bala.
Shri, yeah.
How do you draw that line between self-respect and being unconditional? Because sometimes when you are unconditionally giving, a
Mhm.
lot of times it comes out as having no self-respect. Like for example, two people in a situation, ഒരാള് എന്ത് ചെയ്താലും എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്താലും how is it like, നമ്മളൊരു how do we step back with self-respect or not be affected and still continue to be giving? Like, what is the equation in that space? I mean, അവിടെ ഒരു ക്ലാരിറ്റി എന്താണ് രണ്ടുപേര് ഒബ്വിയസ്ലി ഈക്വൽ സ്പേസിലല്ല, അവിടെ ഒരു ഈക്വൽ ഗിവ് ആൻഡ് ടേക്ക് ഇല്ല. ബട്ട് ഹൗ ഡു യു ഡിഫൈൻ, ബിക്കോസ് ഒരാൾ അൺകണ്ടീഷണൽ സ്പേസിലാണ് നിൽക്കുന്നത്, ലൈക്ക് വാട്ട് എവർ ദി അതർ പേഴ്സൺ ഡസ് ഐ എം ഓക്കെ, but is it not like lack of self respect? അവിടെ ഒരു, yeah, that's my
you're not standing with self love, because where you're talking, I think what you're saying is that when you're not loving yourself and unconditionally loving somebody else, it doesn't happen. First, you have to love yourself unconditionally. So when you're loving yourself unconditionally, you're not going to make yourself suffer or hurt so much, are you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So first we have to do is actually unconditionally love ourselves completely. That will happen only when you embrace your shadow.
Right.
And you know what happens is that whenever from the space you're talking is that whenever you're loving that person unconditionally, here you're actually in a suffering mode, which shouldn't happen. That suffering shouldn't come, you know, that you have to understand why that suffering comes, why that sacrifice comes. So you have to go into that and feel that part. So to actually embrace that part, that you know, you are actually loving the other person out of a need. That's when the suffering comes. So this need actually only you can fulfill, not the other person.
Okay.
So this need, why you are in that need and why you're not able to complete yourself, having that need, what is it that is lacking inside you? That is what you look at that time, you know. So you don't.
Okay, for example, like I'm saying, okay, I don't feel anything bad about this person. ഒരാള് ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് എനിക്ക് വിഷമമൊന്നുമില്ല, but I am not really growing in that space, or I am not really ഒരു heart flowing space അല്ലാന്ന് വെക്കുക. But I don't have anything. I'm clearly understanding the person is acting out of pain or their own traumas or everything. I am okay with it, but my heart is not flowing, or I am not spiritually growing. Nothing is happening there. So is it not like, you know, we deserve to grow in an equation and we can really step out from that space? So does that mean we are not unconditional there?
See, here it is like when you know that you are not flowing, when you know that you are not growing there, actually this person in front of you is not the what do you call that mirror self who would actually rise along with you, or you know, so that might be a relationship, maybe you will have to let go. Some relationship, of course, you have to let go. Of course, you can still love the person, but you have to let go of that person, right? But you know, if you keep on hitting on that space, you know, expecting something, naturally you're going to feel pain. You're going to hurt yourself. So actually, don't look at the other person at all right now. Look at yourself. Why you're not able to unconditionally love yourself? Why you're not able to you know, put yourself in a energy field wherein, you know, you are growing, you are happy, you are not actually clinging on to anything or anybody or any past experience, or why you're not able to do that? Why you're again you know, depending on the other? What is the need over there?
Right.
That has to be fulfilled within you. Then only actually the same reflection of whoever person has to come in front of you will come.
Okay. Yeah. Get it. Yeah. Okay.
I think we'll do the meditation now. Okay. The rest will go. Wait. I think I put the wrong slide. Okay. Flowing in love is a constant state of grace. This is the ongoing experience of love and passion that never fades. The uninterrupted flow of positive energy, the endless safety of mutual understanding, and forgiveness, and the experience of transcending this world to awaken fully in perfect union. Be who you are by practicing unconditional acceptance, openness, honesty. It means loving yourself completely, telling your truth completely, and letting your perfect love flow to whoever reflects that love back to you most beautifully and purely. This is for you, Shri. When you find a person who loves similarly, you have found the treasure, and it need not be a romantic or a sex based relationship. It can be a divine relationship. And that's going to be super beautiful because I've experienced this. When you can share your complete openness, honesty with a person, and you're going to find somebody exactly like that, that's going to be really amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
sacral flow of energy. Why I put sacral flow of energy is because flow is always connected to the sacral chakra. I believe everybody knows the sacral chakra, the chakra which is below the belly button, which is actually orange in color. And so the basic level, our body is made up of energy. And of course, everybody knows that these are energy centers, the chakras. The sacral chakra is the center of personal passion and personal power. This is especially for Indians. I'm saying this because most of the Indian sacral chakra is extremely blocked because of the because of our conditioning. Because we are all conditioned with like suppressing emotions, suppressing sexuality, suppressing the things which we can do, we are not supposed to do. We mean which we want to do, we will be like controlled by others. This chakra is concerned with relationships to other people and how well we can relate to them and create with them in those relationships. Do we try to have control over others or do we live in a state of interdependence with them? Do we keep ourselves bottled up and reserved or do we indulge in intimacy? These are the questions you have to ask yourself, okay? This chakra governs our capacity to move out of survival towards pleasure, especially interpersonal pleasure and personal purpose. Because this chakra governs sensations. When this chakra is out of alignment, it is difficult for us to feel as we are truly alive. So the sacral chakra governs your sexual organs, womb, kidney, spleen, lower vertebrae, pelvis, hips, bladder, appendix, large intestine, and adrenal glands. Any ailments involving these parts of the body suggest that the sacral chakra is out of alignment. And there are people who can't feel emotions, who have numbed their emotions. Sacral chakra is blocked. There is no real difference between sexual energy and personal creative energy because sexual energy is actually a taboo in in our society. So you have to understand is that it's the most creative energy. It is the energy of the divine. So embrace it as it is. Make a practice of mastering your own sexuality. If you have resistance to sexuality, that is thoughts, beliefs, and actions that oppose healthy sexuality, the sacral chakra will suffer, and so will any part of you in association with it. Because you are a sexual being, we have to embrace that, right? Embrace and express it in healthy ways. Let yourself want and let yourself go for what you want. Create it. Creation can come in any form. So sexual energy is actually a creative energy. It can come in any form. Sometimes we use that energy for to make food or to make art, to make building or for any performance, dance, music or anything. Put your energy into something that you yourself generate. It is very much, the sacral chakra is very much connected to your throat chakra also. Heal the unhealthy dynamic presence in your relationship. We must learn how to have our full power at the same time, letting other people have their full power too. So we are not going to control anybody or let ourselves be controlled. Then only the sacral chakra actually flows. I don't know. All this came up last night when actually Jyoti came here and we were talking and we put this water behind us and suddenly I said tomorrow's meditation is on flow. And then she asked what is flow, what is water meditation. I said I have no idea, but that's what it came. So that's when I thought, okay, we'll talk about the sacral chakra. Enable pleasure to your sense of smell, pleasure to your sense of taste. So a lot of us actually have numbed our pleasure itself. Some of us feel that it is not right to enjoy pleasure. You feel guilty having the pleasure. So be it taste, be it sense of hearing, pleasure in the form of touch, pleasure to your eyes, pleasure to your emotions, pleasure to your mind, pleasure to your soul. Just allow yourself to experience it. Live according to your passion. Do the things in your life that make you feel a sense of passion. You came in this life to be joyful. You came to do the things that you love doing so much that no one could pay you enough to not do it. Take any step necessary to live your passion. I'm extremely grateful to Vaishag and Jyoti because all these writings came from there. Because Vaishag was sitting here and talking about his um, the business he's doing. He was talking in so much of passion. I could see it in his eyes. I said, amazing. This is exactly what people should be having. So that flow was so amazing over there. Learn how to feel. Let yourself feel. Feel somatically and feel emotionally. Life is not meant to be numbed out and dull. It is meant to be rich and full of variety. So how many of you all have problem agreeing with this? Okay, let me see you all. It's been so long. Gallery. Okay. Everyone's video is closed.
Yes, Priya, I have problems,
Who said that?
how to, Devi.
Devi. Yeah. So where is it that you find it difficult?
No, expressing emotions.
Expressing emotions. So when
Yeah,
you express emotions, so what do you feel like? If you're going
yeah. I cannot cry out sometimes. I told no previous meditations and all we conducted
to
that time, but it is better. Now it's better.
have you seen your childhood issues wherein you were told that people who don't cry are more very strong, or it is not
Yes,
right
yes,
to cry. You just have
yes,
to
yes,
change that. You just have to change
yes.
that with
I
awareness.
don't want. I don't want anybody to see myself as sad or something, and the very same repeated in the next generation also. That is in the last days talks and experiences. That emotion or the trauma in that emotion, it is carrying to my next generation also.
Okay.
Really.
And that's a nice observation. But when you observe that, you can shift that also, right? Because you know that it is not helping you.
Yeah.
Know that you're not authentically flowing. When you're not being authentic, means when you express any kind of emotion, be it anger, be it sadness, be it happiness. There are people like when we were small, we were told that when we laugh, oh, don't cry, don't laugh so much, you will cry. This is what we are told, right? So we stop
Yes.
even the laughing, even the crying. Everything is held inside. So with awareness, just release that. Whenever that comes, allow yourself to just let go of it. Don't think what other people are going to judge you. You're going to judge you. Forget it. You're going to embrace yourself and be authentic and love yourself completely. Then only we become whole and complete, right?
Yes.
So we'll do a
Okay.
meditation on flow today. So everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody is quiet.
Yes.
All muted. Okay.
Yeah, yes, we are muted. That's why you didn't hear.
Lie down, can lie down. Don't
Yeah.
sleep. I don't have any
Yes.
direction. Okay. So if you all are sitting, sit straight with your backbone straight. If you all are lying down, again lie down with your backbone straight. So if you are lying down, keep your legs little apart from each other without touching. Hands on the side, keep it open up. If you are sitting, sit in a comfortable position. Allow yourself to Close your beautiful eyes. And gently observe any sensation in your body. Just breathe deeply, allowing yourself to take deep breath and letting go of that breath. Allow yourself to completely relax your body. Gently speak to each part of your body and tell it is time to relax. It is time to let go. Allow yourself to take deep breath from your stomach and take another deep breath from your chest and allow yourself to gently let go of that breath easily and effortlessly. Again, take a deep breath from your stomach, hold it, take a deep breath from your chest and let go of that breath, allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into your relaxed state. Let us be open to releasing any resistance to flow. Allow yourself to take a deep breath in and just observe your chakras from your root chakra. As you're observing, you're expanding, opening the chakra, sacral chakra, breathing into that space. As you're observing, you're opening and expanding that chakra, solar plexus chakra, expanding it, heart chakra, expanding it, throat chakra, expanding it. You can see as stars opening, or like a star lit up. Your chakras are opening. Throat chakra, third eye center, and the crown chakra at the top of your head. Allow yourself to connect to the source energy, going into your heart space, allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into your heart space. You're flowing easily, going deeper and deeper into your heart space. As you're going deeper and deeper into your heart space, connecting to the source energy, allow yourself to visualize yourself in a beautiful nature space. Feel the softness of the sun falling on your face. Feel the power and groundedness of the trees around you. It's beautiful. Feel the warmth of the sun and gently let your gaze fall upon the river that is flowing beside you. There is a beautiful flowing river. Just observe the river. Smoothly flowing river. You notice it The water is pure, soft, and powerful. Allow yourself to gently take off your shoes or chappal or whatever you're wearing on your legs. And feel the water on your legs. Allow yourself to gently go into the river, knowing that you're powerful enough to float in the river. Allow the river to embrace you as you lie down or sit, whichever you're comfortable, in the water, and you're floating in the river. Your body is feeling very light. You're very safe and secure. The river is holding you with lot of safety and security. Allow yourself to be with your breath as you are gently floating in the river. If you feel unsafe, you can call upon your angels or masters to keep you safe, to be with you. But allow yourself to totally trust the river. Opening your arms, your heart, you're gently allowing yourself to float completely. You can hear your heart beating. Your breathing becomes very slow as you are able to relax into the vibrations of the river. You are moving now. The river is taking you with such support and gentleness. The river is guiding you. You feel ease and relaxed. If at all fearful thoughts come, you observe your breath and you trust the process unfolding. If you struggle to fight the current, you will not be able to experience the flow. If at all you are not able to flow, observe inside you, within you, what is this block within me that I am not able to flow? Because this flow is the flow of your life, the river of your life. Where am I blocking myself in this flow? Just observe this. Recognize how attached you are to your old, tired way of pain, storing pain, suffering, frustration, and victimhood. You are always recreating the miserable version of yourself. Just observe this, understand this is the block. Let go of that belief that you are made only of old experiences and allow yourself to connect to the divine guidance and higher vibration. Rather than letting your past define you, View it as a story you have outgrown or become tired. Invent a new story for yourself. Create a new you. You can let go of the past. Let the river take you easily, carry you to the right place at the right time. Say to yourself, I am in the flow of my life river. If I keep my thoughts aligned to trust, love the river, I am able to look after myself. It will guide me, protect me. It will take me where I need to go. I am able to float. I am able to trust. This is my river of life. It is so purifying to be loved by the river of life and to love the river of life. I let go of any blockages without restricting myself, without keeping any control. I am able to feel the pleasures of life. I'm able to unleash my personal power. I'm able to let myself go for what I want. Just tell yourself everything is okay. I'm able to close my eyes and relax. And I'm able to tap into the consciousness of all the masters who are awakened, in this flow, who are able to flow easily. It is the mass consciousness of all the masters. I'm able to tap into that and awaken that energy within myself. Allow yourself to breathe deeply, experiencing your personal power within, unleashing your personal power. You're able to experience synchronicity, magical moments, divine assistance, happy endings. You're not going to define yourself by others' impressions and judgments. Define yourself. Invent a story of your own that includes boundless help from the guide. Allow yourself to relax into this beautiful awareness that you are a beautiful flowing river and that you're able to move easily, effortlessly, experiencing life with all its joy, passion, embracing all the darkness and light within. You're able to float in this river, flowing beautifully. Just experience this movement of flowing within you. When you're observing the flow, observe the flow within your body. the blood that is flowing within you. It is a beautiful communication. The blood that is flowing within you communicates to every part of your body. So flow is very much connected to communication. Allow yourself to express this feeling. Allow yourself to create this beautiful feeling. Create something new for yourself. Build something new, a new story for yourself. Experience those vibrations of the new story you have invented. Feel that inside your body. Feel the flow of blood. It is reaching every part of your body, aligning you, energizing you, empowering you. Such a beautiful cleansing experience. Allow yourself to absorb it. Integrate that new story within yourself. The new story you actually want in your life. Create it. Feel it. Observe it. Live it. Flow with it. It is the beautiful story of your own life. Be the flow of your river of life. And this river is taking you to a new place where there are new discoveries, new opportunities. Allow yourself to go into that new space and let the river take you to that new land, new space which you have created. Allow yourself to step into that new story. And know that you deserve to live this story flowing easily, effortlessly. And that you can create it. Create as many new stories as you want. Loving yourself completely, embracing yourself completely, staying in your own center, being aware of every moment, every word, everything that you observe around you. Your awareness, your mindfulness is always with you. With this awareness, allow yourself to gently bring back, slowly, easily, bring your attention to your breath. Let yourself flow back into your true self, allowing yourself to embrace yourself as you are, appreciate yourself as you are. Gently rub your hands together, place it on your eyes, take a deep breath in, allow yourself to feel the joy that is flowing through you. And with a beautiful smile, open your beautiful eyes. How are you all?
Good.
So everybody could experience the flow and the block.
Is it okay if there was no block?
Nobody wants to say anything.
No, when you said 1 minute, Bruno. Yeah.
Anushka, that is your dog speaking. At least the dog wants to speak.
No, I meant like when you said the flow and the block.
Say it loudly. I can't hear you.
Okay, yeah. Okay. When you said the flow and the block, yeah.
What?
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
I can't hear because of the water behind me.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm saying, is it normal to not feel any block? Is what I meant.
Yeah, it is normal.
Oh, okay.
If you have no blocks, well and good, you're flowing well in life.
I was like, should we feel a block? You said block. I'm like, oh no, there's no
It's
block.
like when you're observing your sacral chakra itself, you actually, it gives you a picture of how actually it is, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, when you see flow, if you are not able to move in that river, that means there is a block.
Okay.
If you're fearful of moving also, that's also a block.
Yeah.
So if you all can share what you experience, then we can discuss.
Shall I say?
Yeah. Who's that?
Rekha.
Rekha, where are you? Yeah.
I could just feel infinite faith in that water.
Wow.
I don't know why. Yeah, I felt such trust and faith in that water. That's what I felt.
Actually, water element, it has, I think, of course, in theta healing, we do learn that we carry the water molecule even for many lifetimes. It is stored in the pineal gland, in the heart center, and in the root chakra. Yeah, even in the, through the DNA, it is carried like that. So, even in the womb, the baby is actually born in the water, but don't you think it's like that evolution of man happens inside the womb? When you see that, the smallest, tiniest baby, it is more like a fish, a tadpole kind of a thing and all that. The evolution itself is there in the thing. Then it looks like a monkey. Then it has a tail. Yeah, water has so much of importance in our lives, right? Because it's part of our whole system. Actually, yesterday when Vaishag and Jyoti was sitting here, so Vaishag is also very intuitive. So I asked him, what do you think is the issue with her? She has some issue with her leg. So he said that it is the water content. She's not taking enough water. And when he tried giving her water and do the massage, it was moving well. Otherwise, he was sensing a block over there. So how much the water can help in that healing also is very important over there. And there are a lot of, I think, tribes wherein whenever somebody is sick, they put them inside some sacred water and they do something and, they are healed with the water.
Also, when people do meditation, they usually keep water in a tumbler next to them.
And of course, what happened to that slide? Actually, I had made that slide. with the water thing. I don't know what happened. Right? How come that didn't come? I missed that slide. Or what? Okay, it's not here. I think it didn't get saved. Yeah. Because I think most of you all know that whenever we say something to the water, the vibration of the water changes, right? If it is a good thing or a bad thing. Olden times when people used to keep water in front, they just say something, they chant something and then they drink. If at all they keep little behind and after they talk, they don't drink the same water because what they have talked is something bad. They feel that energy has gone into the water,
Vibration.
so don't drink. Yeah, so they don't drink that water. So water, of course, has its own.
Also elderly people, they would carry their own water in bottles. They wouldn't take water if they went to public places.
These days we have
Prejiji,
meditations like that. No, we manifest things with water. Like what you want, you tell the water, and then you drink that. What all kind of meditations are there these days? So anybody else wants to share?
Prejiji, Nishi here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so maybe you can tell me what this really means. So at first, when you said, is there some block? That part of it when we were trying to focus inside, I saw myself holding a little baby, maybe like a baby that's probably 1 year or maybe
Okay.
somewhere around less than 2 years. And the baby's like clinging on to me and I'm holding it tight and I'm just sitting in that embrace. But I couldn't understand why that image actually came up at the time when you said, can you see any block? But then after that, when you asked me, when you were guiding us through the river, I could see a very beautiful river with, patches of land and everything. And I was literally in it. Like I could feel the smell and all of those things, like, when I was in that moment. Then as I observed it, it felt like the whole river was shifting away from where I was seeing. It shifted away and then it went into something like an ocean. Like, the beautiful picture of the river flowing that was very calm and flowing silently. And I was like enjoying it. In a few seconds, it became like it culminated into an ocean. And then I could not see the land and all of that over there.
Yeah, but were you
But
still in the
it felt
river
like
merging in the ocean?
it was, but I felt like the river was shifting further and further away from my vision, actually, when I see that. Like what appeared so close to me was going further away from it's like you're seeing a larger body of water instead of everything with the land and everything on the side, but instead goes so wide that you don't know whether it's a river or an ocean, but it's just going so further away from us.
Oh, okay.
What does that really mean?
This is a symbolic meaning, I believe. Actually, the first one you said was embracing that 1-year-old child. Is that embrace something which you have missed in your life? Do you have any idea? When you
yeah, I think so.
Huh?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that is the block.
Yes, I think, yeah.
That is something which it's an inner child want, that to have that embrace at that time. Actually, you can, as an adult, embrace yourself as a child in your meditations. Actually, this is symbolically showing that this is what you always crave for. It's on that childhood itself. Okay, and that river flowing into the ocean and you are not going into the ocean. That's very symbolic. Sir, you have something to say on this?
River is flowing to the ocean, but she's not going.
She's not going.
It's almost like I could see the river very clear and beautiful as if I'm standing on the side. Then eventually that river becomes an ocean, but instead of seeing the river flowing, I felt like I was seeing the ocean at the end, like it's flown somewhere really far away. It's almost like instead of standing at the river, I was standing at the beach. but not really a beach. This water has really expanded so much. Like instead of flowing like a narrow thing, it's
What
become
was
so
the
wide
feel at that time?
and wide that I can't even understand. I was gazing in amazement. I was wondering, like, where is the river?
Okay, where is the river?
So are you not?
Yeah, yes, yes, sir.
You are not
what
in
is
the.
it, sir?
She's not in the river.
No, it
She's-
started with a river, but after that it became an ocean.
Yeah, but when you are in the river or you are outside the river when it started.
No, I don't think I was in the river. I was observing the river.
Okay.
And then I was standing and gazing at it because it was so beautiful. There was trees on the side, the patches of land. It's very beautiful. I can probably just sit and draw how it looks like. And then when I kept on looking at it, it felt like the river was going further away. Going away, and it didn't look like a river. It became like a huge body of water that became like an ocean. And then I could not see that as a river.
Yeah, Nishi, one question is, what make you to be an observer rather than be a participant? What is blocking you? There is some block showing that you are an observer rather than a participant.
Because you're supposed
Because
to
the river is going to the ocean.
So
Yeah,
it's like life itself is away from you and you're witnessing it from away. You know, you are still not in it.
Okay.
It's like a child seeing
so
a movie
bas-
and saying, I want that something inside the movie. And I'm very amazed with the movie, but it's not my life. That's what it shows.
Oh. Okay.
Is it something to do with, I'm asking you, sir, the feel that I'm not worthy enough to be that or flow in it?
First is she is feeling that she's holding a 1-year-old child, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere around that 1, 2,
Okay.
but
So
definitely not more than 2.
What is a 1-year-old child mean? What is
Yes, sir.
for you, in your perception, in your seeing?
Gentle, kind, the sweetest, most beautiful, loving form of life. I think, a child is always the most beautiful form of life.
Okay. So you feel that that beautiful form of life is away from you.
I don't know actually. ഞാൻ ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് ബ്ലോക്ക് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ the child was in my arms. ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ എംബ്രേസ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുകയായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷെ I was happy. ഹോൾഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഞാനായിരുന്നു. കുട്ടി എൻ്റെ കയ്യിലായിരുന്നു. ഞാൻ ആ കുട്ടീനെ എംബ്രേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുകയായിരുന്നു. And I was so happy holding that baby in my hand and just sitting in that embrace. പക്ഷെ ഹോൾഡ് ചെയ്യണ ആള് ഞാനായിരുന്നു. കുട്ടി ഞാനായിരുന്നില്ല.
Okay. Actually, what you need to focus is, what is your real fear to be a participant? What is your fear to be that child? What is your fear to experience something beautiful? That's a block that is showing. It's a symbolic representation. Symbolically showing the inner fear. Fear to experience life completely.
Okay.
Just ask this question. Sometimes our consciousness will tell you what is that deep fear. Fear which is putting you away from the situations where you can experience beauty, you can experience kind, you can experience so many wonderful things. Okay. What is blocking you?
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Anybody
Thank you,
else
JJ.
want to share?
Priyandi.
Yeah, you know. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mine, the blocks was throat chakra and root chakra.
Hmm.
Common thing. And while witnessing flowing through the river, the same thing as Nishanti had said, but for me, it is basically I'm seeing what is happening and I'm witnessing in a way that I'm on this, like I'm flowing through the river. But at certain times, I'm not able to, how do you say it? Like I could sense like there's a cloudy patch. So I understand. I think that's a struggle in life. So 3-4 times there was like a cloudy patch while I was flowing through the river. And after the fourth cloudy patch, it was like fully of a a smooth sailing and growth and how do I say it? Like something good was to come. But in between those four patches were there of I think something is a struggle or like a rough patch is there. So I could witness myself going through that.
Rough patch. Do you feel that without rough patch, you life would be what?
I'm working towards that, like to remove that patch and go through with ease.
No, if you didn't have any patches there, then how would your life?
Yeah. I assume it would be better.
But what is the purpose of creating that patch?
I think maybe I not address that issue. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Because in your all your messages that these things come, right? I have to have struggle. I have to have rough patches. Otherwise, how will I? Say,
Bro. Yeah.
that is the block. You feel that you need to have that to grow or to evolve. If you don't have this, you're not going to grow. So you keep creating that. That's old school. You can change that.
Yeah.
I think I had sent a voice message, right? Did I?
That was yesterday. After that, I'd send 2
I
more
will
messages.
hear that. Okay. I will hear that. Okay. Okay. Anybody else want to share?
പ്രിയച്ചി ഞാൻ പറയട്ടെ
Ah.
എൻ്റെ ആദ്യം ഞാനൊരു വാട്ടർ ബോഡി സ്ട്രീം ആയിരുന്നു. ഓക്കെ, സ്ട്രീമിൽ പതുക്കെ ഇറങ്ങി. അപ്പോൾ ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ തമാശയായി, കാരണം അതിന് ആളില്ലല്ലോ. അപ്പോൾ ഐ വാസ് ലൈക്ക് ഇതിലെങ്ങനെ ഞാൻ ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്തത്, എൻ്റെ കാലിൻ്റെ ആങ്കിൾ വരെ ഉള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് ഇനി ഇരിക്കണോ, ഇരുന്നാൽ പിന്നെ അവിടെ ഇരിക്കുകയുള്ളൂ, ഫ്ലോ ചെയ്യില്ല. സോ അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ചു എന്നാ പിന്നെ ഈ സ്ട്രീം എങ്ങനെയും ഇങ്ങോട്ട് പോയിട്ട് റിവറിലേക്ക് അങ്ങോട്ട് കണക്ട് ചെയ്യാം എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ച് ഞാനിങ്ങനെ പതുക്കെ നടന്ന് റിവറിലേക്ക് എത്തി. റിവറിൽ എത്തിയപ്പോ ആകെ ടെൻഷനായി, കാരണം നീന്താൻ അറിയില്ല. അപ്പൊ ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്യണല്ലോ. സംഭവ ബഹുലമായി. ഗൈഡ്സിനെല്ലാം വിളിച്ച് കൊട്ട കൊണ്ടുവന്നു. സോ ഹിലേറിയസ്. ഒരു കൊട്ട, അതിൽ ഞാൻ ഇരുന്നു. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പൊ മൈ ഗൈഡ്സ് ആർ ലൈക്ക് ഇരുന്നോളൂ, ധൈര്യമായി ഇരുന്നോളൂ, ഒന്നും പറ്റില്ല. കൊട്ടയിലിരുന്ന്. അപ്പൊ ഐ വാസ് ലൈക്ക് ഈശ്വര, ഈ ഗൈഡ്സിന് ഒരു ബ്രേക്ക് ഇല്ലല്ലോ എന്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ. So finally I sat in that kotta and പതുക്കെ I felt the support and I was able to just lay flat like on the river. അങ്ങനെ ആക്ച്വലി ആ റിവറിൽ ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റി. ഐ മാനേജ് ടു ഫ്ലോട്ട്. പക്ഷെ ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങിയപ്പോഴേക്കും ഐ വാസ് ലൈക്ക്, ഓ മൈ ഗോഡ്, ഇത് വാട്ടർഫോളിലേക്കാണ് പോകുന്ന റിവർ. ഐ വാസ് ലൈക്ക്, ഈശ്വര, ഇത് തീരൂലേ? അതിങ്ങനെ പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. പക്ഷെ ഐ വാസ് ലൈക്ക്, എനിക്കൊന്നും പറ്റില്ല, അത് ഒരു പ്രശ്നവുമില്ല, ധൈര്യമായി പോയിക്കോളൂ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് ആക്ച്വലി ഐ കുഡ് വിഷ്വലൈസ് ദ വാട്ടർഫോൾ സ്ട്രെയിറ്റനിങ് അപ്പ്. I just went with the flow and that waterfall അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്ട്രെയിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കണക്ട് ആയി to the river again, back to the rest of the river. അപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് somewhere I trusted വീണാലും ഓക്കെ നോക്കാം
You
പോവാം.
created the story there.
I created that connection. ഒരു സാധനം കണക്ട് ആയി അവിടെ. അങ്ങനെ പോയപ്പോ ഉണ്ട് 2 സൈഡായിട്ട് മാറി, റിവർ 2 വഴിയിലേക്കായി. ആൻഡ് അതിന്റെ നടുവിലുള്ള എവിടെയോ പോയി കുടുങ്ങി. ആൻഡ് കുടുങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ ഐ വാസ് ലൈക്ക് അത് പിന്നെ അങ്ങനെയാണല്ലോ, എന്റെ മനസ്സിൽ അങ്ങനെയുണ്ട്, അത് പിന്നെ കുടുങ്ങണല്ലോ. അപ്പൊ ഐ വാസ് ലൈക്ക് And then I thought, okay, ഇത് ഈ ലെഫ്റ്റ് സൈഡ് വലിയ ഫെമിലിയർ അല്ല, എന്നാ അങ്ങോട്ടേക്ക് പോവാം, റൈറ്റ് സൈഡ് ഫെമിലിയർ ആണ്, അവിടെ എന്താന്നുള്ളതെന്ന് അറിയാലോ. അപ്പൊ അവിടെ വലിയ മെച്ചമൊന്നും ഇല്ലാത്തോണ്ട് ലെഫ്റ്റ് സൈഡിലേക്ക് പോവാം. ആൻഡ് ഐ ആക്ച്വലി ഡിഡ് ഫ്ലോ ഇൻ ടു ദാറ്റ് അൺനോൺ. ആൻഡ് ഞാൻ അൺനോണിലേക്ക് ഫ്ലോ ചെയ്തപ്പോഴേക്കും ഐ ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് ദ നൈറ്റ്, ആൻഡ് ദ നൈറ്റ് സ്കൈയിലേക്കാണ് കാണുന്നത്, സ്റ്റാർസ് ആർ ലിറ്റ് അപ്പ്. And it was one of the most beautiful sight. Like ആ സൈഡിലേക്ക് ഫ്ലോ ചെയ്തപ്പോഴേക്കും നൈറ്റ് ആയി, കുറെ നേരം ആയല്ലോ, നമ്മൾ രാവിലെ തുടങ്ങിയ പരിപാടിയല്ലേ, ഒഴുകി എത്തിയപ്പോഴേക്കും രാത്രിയായി അവിടെ. And the night sky was beautifully lit up. So എനിക്ക് കിട്ടിയ ഒരു ഫീൽ is probably finally I've begun facing my fears, facing my blocks. അതിലെ ഫേസ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഒരു ധൈര്യം എവിടെന്നോ സപ്പോർട്ട് ഉണ്ട് എന്നൊക്കെയുള്ള ഒരു ഫീലാണ് എനിക്ക് ഈ ഒരു ഫ്ലോയിൽ കിട്ടിയത്. ലൈക്ക് പേടിയുണ്ട്, ബട്ട് ഐ ഫീൽ ദാറ്റ് ഐ ആം സപ്പോർട്ടഡ്, ഐ വിൽ ബി ഗൈഡഡ്. അപ്പൊ ഫിയർ കുറെയൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും വില്ലിംഗ് ടു ട്രൈ എന്നുള്ള ഒരു സ്പേസിലാണ് എനിക്ക് ഫീൽ ചെയ്തത്. ഐ വാസ് വില്ലിംഗ് ടു ഗിവ് ഇറ്റ് എ ഷോട്ട്, അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത്.
എന്തായാലും ബിഗിനിങ് സംഭവം ആയിരുന്നു.
കൊട്ടയിലൊക്കെ ഇരുത്തി എന്നെ എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയോ ശരിയാക്കി എത്തിച്ചു.
Anyway, so you could create something new for yourself. അത് തന്നെ big hand to you. Hurdles എല്ലാം മാറ്റിക്കൊണ്ടുവന്നല്ലോ.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else want to share?
Yes, Priya.
Yeah.
Devi. Yes, I was also in a pond in the beginning.
Pond.
The very same, the very same pond while I was in my early childhood. The place where I live, Lausellu. Then I realized if I have to flow, I have to come out of this pond. Pond is that circle pond and I can't flow, no? Then I entered into a stream. It's a like Kaitod Malayalam parayile. Then that is joining to a R, small R. Then it is moving ahead, and finally I reached somewhere Periyar like wide river. Actually, I believe I am aquaphobic. 5 swimming classes I completed. 6th class, my daughter and myself joined together, and the trainer made her push her to the swimming pool. Then 6th class onwards, I quit the class. Thereafter, I never joined. Really. And I don't know how to swim, but I know floating, how to float, because the 5 classes I learned. Okay. With that confidence, I was over the water and flowing, and then I had a good feel, a calm, cool feel only. Anyway, I'm in water and no way to go back and no one to take me back. So that flow was on, and some infinite sea like somewhere I reached, and I lost all my consciousness, and thereafter rubbing your hand only.
You lost your consciousness. Okay.
I was out. Because anyway, I enjoyed that moment.
Both of your story, like even in Sri Balas, in the beginning, actually, stream or pond, there is no flow, there is no force to move. So actually, it shows the beginning of your life, probably, where there was no, enough of force is not there in life to flow. So what was missing there, you can see that. And there are so many things what you said right now was that, the confidence to float is there, but the movement is not coming.
And not much movement. And I couldn't find any waterfall or any abrupt things, difficulties or anything. Even no patches or algae or anything. It was clear and that was
See,
fine.
that movement was less. So that is what you have to improve in life. Actually, when we say, when we say about sacral chakra, to improve the movement in our life, we say we should do dances which has circulating movement. Will reflect into our life. Actually, the real water meditation in, I think in Tao, the Chinese one, it has a lot of things there, and they take in the air, they push it in the stomach, and then they move like that. There are a lot of processes like that, and then they move their hand like that. It's a nice thing, but I didn't know this class would take so much of flow. Maybe someday we can do that. But when we do that physically, we are actually bringing that into our consciousness that in our life also it is possible. I think there are a lot of things you can work on yourself on that, the confidence part and everything. Anyway, we'll look into that. Anybody else wants to share?
Hi, Auntie, it's me, Vindhya.
India, you're here. Where?
I'm here. I did the meditation with my mother, with Amma.
Okay, you're in the same window as your
Yeah.
Okay. Open your video. Let me see you.
Ayo.
Position to be seen.
Little dead, I look.
When did you land?
I came on Saturday.
Tell me.
Yeah. So I just wanted to confirm my experience. So this is what I felt. It was very, very, very relaxing, by the way, Auntie. But so I went into a river and I was flowing. It was very nice. I was feeling very nice. And then all of a sudden, I felt like, how we fall from a very great height. Like you feel butterflies in your stomach.
Yeah.
So it felt like that. So I was like, wait, am I falling? Yeah, I don't know. And then when I like opened my eyes, it was like I was falling in a waterfall, like, But then personally, I have like this very big fear of heights and like loud sounds. So, but I was surprised I didn't feel any of it, but I was just enjoying it. I was enjoying falling down the waterfall. But then I I don't know if I fell asleep, but then I don't remember what happened after that, after the state of flow and connecting to the divine. So I wanted to confirm, did I fall asleep after meditation or not?
That's okay. But if you fell and if you felt that as a roller coaster ride, which you enjoyed, that means you are facing your life properly. I think you have been working on your failures in your life and things like that, and it's fine now. It's a symbolic representation. It's fine now. You're able to embrace it.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Anybody else? Okay, somebody has written something and all over here. I didn't read that. Okay, felt one with the element of water the first time, always put with the element earth. First time with water. Flow was easy, no block. Towards the end, though, while visualizing the life I wanted at the end, blockade. Then fear built up sharply. So creating the life you want is the block for you. Pooja, you're here or you left?
Yeah, I'm here, Chichi.
So everything else was fine, but creating a new life was a block, right?
Towards the end of that, the beginning and all of that was okay. Visualizing the life was all very smooth, But
What is
towards the
fear?
end, suddenly, yeah,
When you're creating something new, what is the first thought that comes into you?
fear. I run on fear actually.
Run on fear.
I mean, as in I'm dominated by fear. Every decision is dominated by fear. I mean, fear-based choices.
Okay, do you want to change that?
What, yes, Gigi?
Do you want to change that? You're always working with the, moving with the fear.
Yes, yes, of course.
So when you actually embrace that, you are actually having this fear, and then when you look at it, face it, then you take decisions on love based, you can actually shift. But you have to be observant and be aware, whenever you are going to operate in love or fear, whichever, you have to keep on observing. So what will happen if you create something new? Don't think an answer, just answer.
I may fail.
You may fail.
I may fail, yeah. Or harm myself, cause harm to myself.
You may cause harm to yourself. So you've had such experience before in life?
Yes, some decisions, yes, that have ended up in causing me a lot of pain.
Actually, you are stuck in that old story. That's the reason.
Okay.
So you have to understand what you understood going through that situation. What did you actually learn out of that situation? And then, you can have the other choice.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else want to say?
Okay.
Or we'll wind up?
Hey, Chichi.
Tomorrow? I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. Okay. We'll wind up.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody else want to say something? Who is saying? Who's that? Who's that?
Prichiti Sumita Kekamo.
Smita. Where are you, Smita? I can see you.
Sumita.
Your video is on.
Yes, Chichi.
Anyway, you say. I can't see you.
Okay. So I am in a phase of my life where like I have to select something new, new prospects. So it was so interesting when you asked me to flow. I don't know where to flow. That is exactly where I am. So I am just floating and the river is flowing. That was like, it's so interesting that completely matches the state where I am. So, but the interesting thing is, I was very comfortable in the state of unknown. So I'm so happy that right now I don't know, but maybe I need some more time. Then right now I am just trying some passion. Like I didn't get time before in my life to kind of explore these skills or passion. So I'm just trying out something. So I'll continue doing that. Then what I did is, then you mentioned, oh, this is your life. This is the river of life. Then I thought, okay, let's rewind. Let's go back from my childhood. Let me have a nice whitewater rafting. So it was awesome. Like from my childhood, I had nice whitewater rafting with so much falls and ups and downs. And it's so nice to see both the pleasant experiences and unpleasant experience as just scenes without emotionally attaching to them. And like, okay, these were all the different scenes in my life. I really enjoyed my ride so far from my birth to this point as a movie, as a story. And like right now, I'm just floating and enjoying. It was a beautiful river. I went for whitewater rafting long time back, so I was enjoying the scenery. Yet to figure out what is in front of that. Yeah, it was a beautiful experience, AG. Just want to share that.
Okay, that's so nice. Nice. It is your willingness to embrace the new and just flow. I have actually been watching you attending many classes with sir, and I see, you are very observant, and whatever he says, you actually put that into your life, and you're experimenting all that. I could see all that. A big hand
Thank you.
for that, not everybody do that very fast.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we'll wind up. Good night. See you all tomorrow. Same time.
Thank you, Priya. Good night. Thank you, Chechi.
Bye.